Once upon a time, there was a king who worked hard every day. He made sure everyone was healthy and happy. His wise and loyal minister was always with him. He gave him good advice. The people believed, blindfolded, that the king would never do them wrong. In the capital, there lived a man named Charles with his beautiful daughter, Marlin. He worked as a vegetable seller. Marlin had reached the age for marriage. His friend, Thompson, lived just a short walk from his house. Thompson had a son named John. Marlin and John loved each other, but hadn't expressed it yet. One day, John arrived when Charles was not home.
Marlin, I love you,
John confessed. Marlin's heart skipped.
Will you marry me?
Marlin couldn't speak, simply nodded. John left with a smile. One day, Thompson asked John if he wanted to marry Marlin, and he agreed. After speaking with John, Thompson went to Charles's house the next evening. He asked for Marlin's hand for his son. Charles, smiling, gave his consent. Marlin, hearing this, felt overjoyed. Charles and Thompson set the wedding date for next Monday and began preparing. One day, Charles went with Marlin shopping for a wedding gown. After shopping, Charles went to some work, while Marlin headed home. On her way, she saw a crowd gathered on both sides of the road. She heard that the king will pass through soon. Marlin said to herself,
I want to see the king.
And she stood there. As he passed, the king's eyes met hers, and he was mesmerized. Marlin, feeling nervous, turned and ran. The king, desperate, pointed at her and ordered his minister,
Find where she lives.
The minister bowed and, with guards, quickly left. The king walked back and forth in the palace. When the minister arrived, he asked desperately,
Who is she?
The minister replied,
Her name is Marlin, and she is the daughter of a vegetable seller.
The king ordered,
Take my proposal to her.
The minister bowed and left. The minister arrived at Charles's house. Charles bowed and asked. Charles bowed and asked,
What brings you here?
The minister smiled.
I come with the king's proposal for your daughter.
Marlin, hidden, whispered to herself,
I was right. His eyes, they were full of something more.
Charles replied,
It's my honor. But my daughter's marriage is fixed for next Monday.
The minister left, disappointed. The minister came to the palace. And the king asked,
What happened?
The minister bowed, unable to speak. The king, sensing something was wrong, shouted.
Tell me!
The minister, scared, replied.
Her father refused.
The king shouted.
What?
She is engaged. Her marriage is fixed for next Monday.
The king commanded in anger.
I want to go to her house.
Charles's heart sank while Marlin hid, her heart racing. The king asked,
Did you refuse my proposal?
Charles shivered and replied.
No, Your Majesty. But Marlin's marriage is fixed for next Monday.
The king roared.
Bring your daughter here.
Charles went to Marlin, who was trembling.
No. Dad. I love John.
Charles led Marlin into the room. The king smiled and placed a ring on her finger and then left. Marlin crying deeply. The king reached the palace and ordered.
Keep guards at Charles's gate secretly.
The minister bowed and left. Night fell. Marlin covered her face and slipped out of the house, heading to John's house. She knocked on the door. John opened the door.
Marlin. What's wrong?
She said.
The king saw me and engaged with me by force. Let's run away.
Marlin said. But as they stepped out, the guards arrested him. While the minister took Marlin to her home, the guards brought John before the king. The king's eyes burned with anger.
Throw him in prison.
The wedding day arrived. Marlin, in a white bridal gown, looked stunning. The priest asked,
Do you take this woman?
The king held her hand.
Yes.
Then the priest turned to Marlin.
And you?
With a heavy heart, she whispered.
I will.
Charles stood at a distance, heartbroken. The king led her to the palace. The royal maids seated her in the king's bedroom and left. A while later, the king entered, sitting beside her. He saw the tears in her eyes, her body trembling. He gently held her hand. But suddenly, Marlin pulled away.
How dare you?
He shouted. Marlin froze, her tears halted. Seeing her fear, the king felt broken inside.
I love you, Marlin.
The king said softly.
Please be mine.
Marlin pleaded.
Please. Free John from prison.
The king nodded. He loved her deeply, but she kept her distance and didn't show any affection. Marlin was pregnant. After months, she gave birth to a baby boy. The king was overjoyed, but Marlin didn't love the baby. One day, he saw the baby crying, and the maid struggled to comfort him. But Marlin showed no interest. The king turned away and thought,
You hate me, but the baby is yours.
One night, the king moved toward Marlin and took her hand. But he noticed the strangeness in her eyes. He shouted,
Why do you act this way?
Marlin replied,
You own me. But you can't have my heart.
The king left the room and spent the night in his study. He cried,
I couldn't win a woman's heart, which I love.
The enemy kingdom attacked. Before leaving, he kissed his son and asked Marlin,
Will you pray for me?
Marlin replied,
The kingdom needs you.
The king asked.
And you?
She stayed silent. The king smiled sadly and left. In battle, the king fought relentlessly. An arrow pierced his leg. They won. The senior doctor told the minister.
The injury isn't fatal. But medicines do nothing. It seems the king doesn't want to be healed.
The minister tried to speak with the king, but was useless. The king's condition worsened. One day, he gave a letter to the minister for Marlin and said something about Marlin. That night, he died. The minister cried, and everyone, including soldiers and doctors. After the funeral, they returned to the capital, and the news of the king's death was announced. The kingdom mourned. Marlin heard the news but felt no sorrow. The minister entered the palace and said,
The king's injury wasn't severe, but he didn't want to be cured.
His eyes showed his sorrow. But Marlin turned away, understanding the reason. The minister handed her the letter and left. Marlin opened it in the bedroom. The king wrote,
I owned you. I thought I could win your heart. My father told me that a king wins hearts with love. When I saw you, I fell in love. I knew you loved John, but I believed I could give you everything. Even love that you would forget him. But I failed. Now you are free to go to him, or stay with him in the palace. No one will object. I have ordered it. Be happy, my love. I will love you forever.
Marlin's tears flowed.
No. You didn't fail. You won my heart. You couldn't bear to hand me over to John while you lived. So, you took your life. Now, I am only yours. No one will take your place in my heart or in this palace.